great to be with you. Thank you for sticking around. I was nervous that we were going to have enough people to come and do a little campsite event here, chat just briefly, do one-on-ones, but it means a lot that you stay, so thank you. As the people had mentioned, Lisa had mentioned, my name is Larsen, and I've been in doTERRA for 14 years. And it has absolutely changed my life. I came from a corporate background prior to being here. I was the CEO at another company and had a wonderful experience over there at the other place. It was fun until they came to me one day. I was working for a bunch of investment bankers. We sold the company, and one day they came to me and they said, "Eric, we love you. You are the nicest person in the world. Thank you for all that you did with our company. You're now fired. We're bringing in our own team. And you got to get to the airport because your plane leaves in about 30 minutes. And so I got fired on a layover. I don't know how anybody feels about that. Does that seem cold-blooded to any of you? I had spent 8 years of my life serving those people. And all was gone in just a moment. And for me, it was one of the saddest days of my life. And I don't mean to bring the energy down, so I'm sorry about that. But at the end of the day, it's what brought me to doTERRA. You know, the person that introduced me to doTERRA is one of the owners of the company. I have a buddy, and his name is Corey Lindley. How many of you know Corey? Corey is absolutely amazing, isn't he? He is a superstar. And we had worked at another company together, and he came over to my house one day and said, "Eric, we're going to make this a $400 million company one day. It's going to be a home run." And we've obviously exceeded those expectations, haven't we? And I wasn't sure what to do, so I kind of mumbled out, okay. And that's how I joined doTERRA. And for me, it was the start of an epic journey in my life. And I just want to share with you a few stories, if it's okay, and share with you a few experiences. And I hope that with what I talk about today, it will inspire and it motivate you a little bit. That's really what I want to do. In addition to that, I want to give you some practical advice that you can take home and implement today. How have the speakers been at this event? I can do as well as them, but I'm going to try my best. And then I've got a couple of pieces that I've thrown in here for anybody that might be a little bored. So I've got a couple of pieces to get you involved along the way as we talk about doTERRA and we talk about some of the things that we have along the way. One of the things, let me just talk about the title of my presentation. This is completely off script. Oliver asked me to present, and I couldn't remember the topic. So, what I did is I made up the title, and I think it's a pretty good title. The best investment you can make is in? The best, hold on, I'm a little hard of hearing. The best investment that you can make is in? And the second best is in? And you and your team along the way too. So, I don't know if I'll talk about this again in the presentation, so if you're expecting this, don't, because we're not going to talk about this anymore. Maybe a little. So let's talk about my why. And I want to ask you, as you're here and you're wrapping up the conference, how is your why? How do you feel about the things that are happening in your life? One of the reasons why I joined doTERRA is as a busy executive, I felt like I thought I was married to the company. I was married to the company more than I was married to my wife. My wife had to teach my kids how to drive. They happen to be better drivers than me, thank goodness. But one of the things that I wanted to accomplish with doTERRA is to have more time in my life. I wanted to be in charge of my own schedule. And I found out that even as the CEO of the company, you think the CEO has all this time and all this ability to do whatever he wants? I found out that even the boss has a boss. And someone that you report to. Any of you in corporate America that have had that type of experience where you thought, hey, I'm the boss, I can do what I want. But that wasn't the case with me. Also, one of the things that I wanted is I wanted greater ability to be able to serve in my community. I had some goals and some things that I wanted to accomplish in my life, and doTERRA has given me that. And I hope it's okay if I share some of those with you today. And I wanted to give to important causes. So with that, let me just share with you that doTERRA has an amazing ability to be able to magnify your why and to help you to accomplish the dreams that you want to accomplish. I see some heads shaking up and down. I hope there's not just one or two. But the beauty of doTERRA is that you have your why. And doTERRA will make it better, will enhance it, and will make it something special that will live on with you forever. Let me just share with you a little bit. Well, before I get to that, what attracted you to doTERRA? Was it the products? Was it the business? Was it the opportunity? What was the thing that drove you here? And what is the reason that you're staying today? And think about when you started. Are all of those things true today? Are they still relevant? Or do some of us need to go back and maybe reconfigure a little bit on the things that are most important to us? I hope that if you're in that situation, I hope you take advantage of the opportunity after this to write down your why, to re-examine your why, and look at those things that motivate you and help you to move forward and get through the difficult days. So today, your homework is to look at your why. I think those wonderful presenters of the panel and sharing with us the things that motivate you. So thank you for doing that. So here are a couple of things that I've been able to do with doTERRA that have helped me. So with that, what I want to ask you today is, does your why cause you to have fire? I'm in fire. I'm in fuego. I am burning up inside. Or does it cause you to have fire? Is that what your why is like? I love the Tom Hanks version of fire! Bring it on! I want to have that more in my life. And that's the thing that I think is fun about doTERRA, is that you can simply look, always look. Estoy pensando en español. Disculpe por esto. I was thinking in Spanish. But with your flame, with your desire, with the things that you have, doTERRA gives you that opportunity to be able to do it. Your why causes you to take action and to move forward. And your why is only as good as your process. It's nice to have why, but with that why, you got to do something with it. We heard earlier that you've got to take action. Because if you don't take action, it's going to be just like this. It's going to be your fire. I'm on fire. I'm so excited. Have you ever seen people that are like that? I want all of you to be on fire when you leave, and your why driving you along the way. Let me just talk about the process that I use with doTERRA. First of all, the process that I have, I know that Oliver talked about this, and we've had some good presenters talk about what we do as far as holding conversations. For me, my why depends on having open conversations. I know that if I want to achieve the things that I have in life, that I need to be able to bring a lot of people into doTERRA. And at any given moment, one of the things that I'm doing is I have 40 or 50 open conversations that I'm holding and running on a regular basis. Sometimes it's with clients, sometimes it's with customers, sometimes it's with people that are new using the products, sometimes it's the person that I just met down the street. But we're having a conversation, and my purpose in that conversation is to gain trust. to talk to people, to be more ears and less mouth. So what my process is to be able to talk to people with the purpose of them trusting and liking me. Hopefully that's an easy thing for me. I don't know if you know this about me. Maybe I've shared this with a few people, but I'm an introvert by nature. But I got fire! So at the end of the day, today, I'm going to go in my hotel room and rock back and forth. But, no, not that. But I'm probably one of the most extroverted introverts because I've got some skills that allow me to just ask questions. I love to see how people tick. I want to know more about you because I think about myself as being boring. It's okay, I don't mind. I just want to know about you. I want to know what brings you happiness in your life. And I try to fix doTERRA to be able to do that. Some of the conversations that I'm holding right now, out of the 40 or 50 that I have that are going on, have been conversations I've had with people for the last couple of years. I've invested in these people. I believe that they're good. I love them. I want good for them. And I've been able to make friends along the way. So the reason why I'm having these conversations is I just want to accumulate more friends into my life and more friends into my business. Point number 2 is I spend time every day deliberately focused on recruiting. I have a set time, and with the recruiting part of it, I do it at different hours during the day because I know some people won't be available at a certain time every day. So I switch it up a little bit. But every day, I look for a way to be able to recruit or bring somebody new into my business. Do any of you do that? Yes? All the time. That's what we do, is we're trying to bring people in. And it doesn't matter for me. I know sometimes we had, I don't know who asked, but it was one of the great presenters talking about, do we all look for new business leaders in our business? We all are looking. It'd be great to have someone that was just like all of you. But for me, I'm happy with anyone I get. If they come in, they use the products, I will find a place for them. I will help them. I will move heaven and earth to make them be help them to make them be successful. Help them to be successful along the way. That's my goal. If they're using the products, if they're excited about what we're doing, I will do whatever it takes to help them. Also, I invest my time every day in training my team. I will work with people on the products, and that is the sole focus of what I have. And I do it every day. And then I have a habit of saying yes. Very rarely will you ever hear the word no come out of my mouth, unless you're asking me to do something stupid like jump off a cliff. And to be honest with you, I still think I'm 20 years old, so I would probably say yes to that, because I think that's a pretty cool thing to do. Nonetheless, I'm looking for a way, if somebody needs help, I'm looking for a way to say yes to be able to help them. I remember I was with Jose just, how long ago was it that we were in Portugal? It wasn't all that long, was it, Jose? It was a month that we were, well, it was a year for the convention. But Jose asked me to come out, and I said no to him initially. Do you remember that? And it's the only time he's ever going to hear no from me again, because I rearranged my schedule and made it work. Absolutely. Joe, I don't know if you heard Jose. He said, Eric, that's why you're coming again. It's because you don't say no. I can hardly wait. I'm looking forward to being with you again, brother. And it's always fun to be with you and your team. And all of my other wonderful wellness advocates that we have from Portugal. So this is my process. I have conversations. I look for reasons why to get involved. I look for ways to be helpful. I trust and invest time in my team and training people along the way. Also, let me just talk about a few myths of our business. Many of you, this is the first time you've ever been involved with direct sales or multi-level marketing, right? We had a little show of hands. So most of you don't have experience with direct sales, correct? Okay, that was exciting. I think I heard one little squeaky, yes, It's back in the back. But let's just talk about these quickly. And I won't spend much time in here. One of the myths is you need to have a lot of people. Is that an excuse that you get sometimes? Oh, I don't know anybody. I'm not a salesperson. I can't do this business. I don't have anybody. Is that some of the things that you hear on a regular basis, some of the myths that are there? First of all, do you need to know a lot of people to start with doTERRA? No, you don't. How many people do you need to be able to start with doTERRA? You need to have the right ones, and you at least need to have yourself involved. I think if you've got yourself here, you're obviously involved, and all you need to do is find the right people that are similarly situated as you. Number two, let me ask you this question. I did not get in early enough, so I don't think I'm going to do very well with doTERRA. What do you think about that? I think I heard somebody say it was horse manure, is the exact word I think somebody said. Let me just share with you do you know what my account number is? Justin Harrison and I share the account number of 1001. It's the very first account with doTERRA. Justin and I are there in that position. And we are, who else would be there? Who would be there? That account can't be any older than doTERRA. It's the age of doTERRA. Do you know there are people that get paid more than us? And there are people that get paid a lot more than us? So I think it goes to show that even us, who were in there in the early days, that account being number one account from day one, still doesn't make as much as some of the other wellness advocates that came on much later. What do you think about that? Pretty cool, right? How about this? You know what? I can't do doTERRA. You know why? I'm not a salesperson. And my response is, have you ever recommended a book? Have you ever recommended a restaurant? Have you ever gone to a restaurant, had a bad experience, and then talked about it? Is that a salesperson or not? I love the presentation that we had earlier today where they were talking about being authentic. And what I want to share with you today is that all of you are enough. What you have to offer to all of us is significant and important. And thank goodness you're not the salesperson that maybe you have in your mind when we think about salespeople. Have you ever gone to buy a car? Have you ever gone to buy a car and had a bad experience? Maybe that's what people have in their mind. I don't think there's anybody like that here at doTERRA. If we see any sleazy doTERRA distributors, they don't last very long. They get here and they get hugged and they get loved on, and you got people that are just sweating all over them or rubbing oils like Vanessa did all over them. And they don't last very long because it's uncomfortable, right? We'd love to have them, we'd love to convert them, but we don't see that very often. And let me just ask you this. What about the myth that if you build it once, it lasts forever? Do you know how old this city is? The city of Thessaloniki? Do you have any idea how old it is? Let me see if I got the image of it. There it is, right there. Do you know how old the city is? Okay, I'll answer that. The city is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. It's 2,400 years old. The Apostle Paul came and spoke here. You had all sorts of famous people here. The Romans were here for a long time. But during that 2,400 years, it's been continuously occupied. Now you're saying, oh yeah, great point for a doTERRA event, Eric. Thank you for sharing that. The point is that, as I fall down, the point is this. Do you think that the founders of Thessaloniki ever said, that's it, we're done. We're not going to get this. Nobody believes in us. I've got a line that quit. We're going to just give it all up. Here you go. Thessaloniki shirts. I think sometimes we have that thought in our business. And the thing that happens is that there's no company in the world that doesn't have to change and adjust and bring in new ideas, whether it's Apple or the city of Thessaloniki. We all have to bring in new ideas and new blood, and to keep the good things going, and keep your business maintained. Fair enough? Is that good? Okay, great. So let me just ask you this. I want to just challenge you today to step out of your comfort zone. And when you step out of your comfort zone, that's where I believe the magic happens, is to go and do new things and be involved with things that maybe you haven't done in a while. Oops. That's not it. There we go. Let me talk a little bit about stepping out of your comfort zone, if it's okay to share with you some of my personal experiences along the way. Here I am in the backyard of a physics teacher's house in the beautiful country of Kenya, and he's growing geranium. In Kenya, we have 4,400 small-scale farmers that are there. And this gentleman is a physics professor. How cool is it to have 4,400 small-scale farmers that we're bringing into the company? For me, it was fun to be there with my wife and be able to meet this physics teacher who has one house that he lives in and a second one that he's building right next to it with the proceeds that he's earning from doTERRA. Do you know that doTERRA has about 100 essential oils? And we do business in about 46, we do sourcing out of about 46 different companies or countries. And out of that, we have created 1.5 million jobs. So when we talk about our goals and initiatives and the things that we want to accomplish, one of my goals and one of the reasons why I joined doTERRA is I wanted to give back to my community, give back to people. Now, my community isn't necessarily in Kenya, but this was a way for me to be able to give back and be involved there. And what all of us can do is by selling doTERRA and promoting what we know, is we're creating millions of jobs around the world. What a wonderful goal to achieve, all of us, collectively. That's exactly what you think it is. All right, here we go. Okay, guess what I'm doing here? I'm shoveling manure for the day, and I'm working at a But I'm working at a trafficking recovery center, and we're building a horse facility for the ladies that are recovering from being trafficked. And it was fun to sit there and shovel manure all day. And I got to meet one of the victims. And she came up to me, she's a Spanish speaker, came up to me, and she's probably this tall. And she said something to me in Spanish. It was like, "Eric, you look like a movie star." And I was like, well, how about that? Okay. Well, tell me which movie star you think I look like. And she said, well, she touched my hair. He's got gray hair. I'm like, of course he does. Yes, of course. And then she touched my beard, and it's like, you know, you probably need to grow it a little bit longer. And so I started to be a little bit puzzled by this. And she touched my belly.
Santa Claus.
And it was like, oh, okay, which movie star are we talking about? And she's like, you know, the only thing that we're missing is ho, ho, ho. And a red suit. If you had reindeer, a red suit, and if you went, and it's like, you want me to go ho, ho, ho. And she just got married a couple of months ago. And I love working with a company that offers opportunities for people to heal. And part of her healing, you know what? Nobody talks to me like that, ever. And it was the greatest day of my life that somebody gave it to me in a real good way. And I loved everything about it. And it made my life better. And it made me believe in the redeeming power of love. That somebody can experience something so horrible in their life, and yet, because of doTERRA and doTERRA's contribution, can recover enough to be able to tease somebody about being fat and look like Santa Claus. Tell me that isn't wrong. And then finally, talking a little bit about my goal. My slides must have got mixed up somewhere along the way. Here I am. I am at, well, I'm not here in this photo because I've never been there. As you can tell, I am at this is the Sanag Specialty Hospital. And I know that Emily talked about this at convention just a few weeks ago. And I've had people that have come up to me and they said, Eric, I know that you've participated in the Sanag Specialty Hospital, and we know that it's been a little bit of a challenge as of late. And I think they're trying to bait me into saying something mean or mean-spirited. And they always come up and say, what are you going to do without, what happens to your investment in this? And I come back to them and I say, listen, this thing didn't work out exactly the way that I wanted. However, it certainly worked out for the 55,000 patients that we saw at the hospital. Try to convince me that the 21,000 people that received some type of help were poorly served. They didn't have a place to do it. Additionally, 21,000 people were served there and then were able to fix problems, broken bones, or other issues along the way. There were 501 surgical procedures that happened at this hospital. Tell me how they were poorly served. There were 449 babies born and 636, actually 6,306 babies that went to the natal care center that carried my name and my wife's name on it. So to say that the Sanag Specialty Hospital was maybe a fool's dream, not to any of those people that were there. And for me, it will always be a legacy because of what doTERRA brought to the table. Now, let me ask you this. Who doesn't believe that doTERRA tries to do big things? That they want to do big things. They want to be able to help people in difficult places. And for me, it's an example that you should live yourself, that you should live your life in a way that you inspire others to do the same. So if I can be so bold, let me just ask you to get out of your comfort zone, to go out and be on fire. Go and do something great with your why in being able to help people along the way. If I can leave one message for you today, and I'm not through with my presentation yet, but if you could just do one thing today, so look at what you want to accomplish, and then go for it. Okay, promise? Will you do this? Let me just go through a couple of these don't need to do all this.
Before doTERRA came into my life, I was a busy executive. I had many corporate positions, but I always felt like I was more married to the company or to my work than I was married to my family. One of the things that I'm doing tonight is I am at my granddaughter's soccer match, and she is 5 years old, and she thinks that I am a professional football coach, that I am here on this earth for one purpose only, and it's to teach her how to play soccer. And I feel so blessed that I have doTERRA in my life to be able to be there at those inflection points that I missed as a dad, and I'm able to make up with my grandkids. I have 3 grandkids, and I am there for all major events, and I feel so blessed to be able to do that. So thank you, doTERRA.
My 6-year-old granddaughter thinks that I am a football coach. She's got the Portuguese kid on. She thinks she's Cristiano Ronaldo. She jumps around with headers, and I don't want her to ever know anything different. I am there for her, and I want her to believe and know that her GP, she calls me GP, is there to be able to help her to be successful in life. So I'm not sure how this all happened, but okay. Let me just keep on rolling through this. So, let me just ask you a question. Do any of you feel like you ever need to pivot in your business? Can I share with you a quick story of what happened to me? In September of this year, in September of 2023, I sat with my Korean team at dinner, and we talked about the goals and objectives we wanted to do after convention. And my leader, who was with us in Thessaloniki as a brand new double diamond, which means she's a presidential diamond in her one leg, and she is a diamond in the other, was with me on the trip. But the year before, we talked about, after convention, what should we do to motivate the people in your team? Let's put a promotion together, is what she said. And so we talked about this promotion, and it was a promotion that we were going to go together, her and her team, and those that qualified, we were going to go to the Grand Canyon. We were going to take helicopters from Las Vegas, fly to the Grand Canyon, make this to be one of the most special trips in the world for them. They were excited about it. And she went home and we started talking to the team about it. But the first thing that we noticed, week 1, week 2, week 3 into this little promotion, is that my fast start bonus was going down. And that's a bad thing, because anytime anything goes down, it's the wrong way to go. But what we decided to do is look at it. It caused me to look at it and say, our sponsoring numbers are down. What should we do? We realized that the promotion that we had of flying to the Grand Canyon maybe wasn't all that great.